The following is a presentation of Stratford Irish Hockey.
All right, folks, welcome inside the broadcast booth of the historic William Allman Memorial Arena. I'm Trey Hamilton, joined alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Brian Hawley. We are here with Stratford Irish pre-game live as we get you lined up for this afternoon's NPHL Metropolitan Division contest between your Stratford Irish and the visiting Six Nations Ironmen. Brian, good to be back because it's been what feels like quite a while since we've been in this broadcast booth, partner.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks now, and you just get started on the season, and you just feel like you're falling behind. I'm here today feeling like I need to get caught up on a few things, just to remember how everybody plays the game and the excitement and the speed of the game. So, this is my first look live at the Six Nations team, so I'm really looking forward to tonight's game.
Yeah, this is my third look at them. Obviously, doing the games up in Orangeville, and I actually was on the bench with Halton Hills when we went there. The coach was on vacation, so I stepped in. I'm a man of many roles, not many talents, but I've done plenty of different things over this season already, Brian.
Your favorite e-bug, Trey Hamilton.
Exactly. I e-bugged in Six Nations as well. So we've got a long list of things that I've accomplished this year, specifically relating to the Ironmen. And Brian, one thing about the team that I've noticed is they're a little bit streaky. They seem to go on a stretch of 10, 12 minutes of play where they're hitting everything. They're crisp passing. They're getting pucks deep. They're chasing it down. They're winning puck battles, and then they'll go stretches of a game where it seems like they're not engaged and they're more worried about the physical side of things. Sticks up high after the whistles, protecting their goaltender, whatever it might be. And against a team like Stratford, with or without guys like Zach Magwood, Jaden Pekka, those kind of mistakes are going to cost you because Stratford's operating at 30%, the number one power play right now in the NPHL. So,
yeah, absolutely, and that type of game takes a good tempo. And if your tempo is off, you're going to have too much spacing or you're not going to get in on the forecheck, and it can turn around on you and get you into odd man rushes if you're not in the right place at the right time. The toughness aspect, we all love that part of the game. Having said that, though, it's got to be controlled because at this level you can't take a bunch of power plays because the team will just kill you.
Absolutely. It's with a team of Stratford's skill level, they were able to, I guess you could say, get a little bit deeper, Brian. There's been a massive trade that has occurred between the Halton Hills Coyotes and the Stratford Irish today. The players that are being sent back to Halton Hills, I'm not 100% sure on the names. I still have to get everything clarified. Obviously, it just happened this morning. But three highly skilled players are making their way here to Stratford from Acton. Most notably, a guy named Mateo Cabral. He's a guy who's going to stand out tonight, Brian. I believe he's wearing 97 for the Irish. So it'll be interesting to see. But I've had the opportunity to be on the bench with that Halton Hills team. And I got to say, all three guys they brought in, Brendan Charlton being another one of them, you haven't got to look at them yet, but they are skilled players. And one of the things that the Irish were criticized on all year is their lack of depth. It seemed like, they're walking into an arena with two lines, and they didn't even bring a third line. So, talk about a lack of depth on the roster. You needed to bring guys in that could solidify that third, fourth line. And I think after you see today, you'll be a believer in the three guys that are brought in that are pretty much going to slate right in and slot in and become that third line.
Yeah, well, we saw last year in the playoffs, didn't we, that we know that Stratford can go with a short bench. Having said that, when the pace of the game gets up, when you've only got two lines, we've all played beer league in our lives, and we generally played them with two lines. And, by the time you get into the third period, your feet start to drag a little bit, and that's when mistakes get made, and it can cost you hockey games. So you need that depth so that you still have a lot of energy going down the stretch.
Well, that reminds me a lot of the last time we were in this broadcast booth, a 4-1 second period lead over the Alvinston Killer Bees, who are still undefeated. They had them on the ropes, Brian. They couldn't close it out. And, again, it came down to they were running three lines. Alvinston ran four. We know how good Elvis's 4 lines are. Stratford made a lot of mistakes. Referees didn't help us out at all, but at the end of the day, you got to kill penalties. That's one thing that when I look at this matchup, Six Nations just under 80% on the penalty kill, which in senior hockey is a good number. Stratford, right around 70%. And last year in the former league, they hovered around 84%. So big difference here, and I get it. It's a new system defensively that Graz is running on the bench. But at the end of the day, what do we got to see to improve that penalty killing, Brian? Because if you're going to go on a deep run and ultimately win the Outlaw Cup, which is the biggest senior hockey tournament in Canada, you're going to have a better penalty kill than 70%.
Absolutely, and so it starts with 2 things. Number one, again, it takes energy to kill penalties. And if you're running with 2 lines, it's tough to have a whole lot of energy.
Yep.
So having more warm bodies on the bench, regardless of skill level, will give a chance to those top penalty killers to get a breather and not have to play quite so much, so they have more energy to kill penalties. The other thing, too, is that the roster is still in flux, as always happens in early season senior hockey.
Yep.
The roster will be in flux until probably well after Christmas. And then that's generally when teams start to lock down specialty teams because they're playing together more often. And we've seen it for years and years and years here in Stratford, where they start off a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, and you start wondering, well, is this the year they're not going to do anything? And then by the time playoffs hit, they've got it all figured out. So they need to take every game in the regular season and make it an opportunity to get a little bit better at 1 or 2 or 3 different aspects of their game.
Absolutely. And this is a Six Nations team, Brian, that's going to come in here today, and they're going to play hard. They're a very well-coached team. I've had the opportunity to meet their coaching staff, obviously, and the several times that I've been in Six Nations this year. Very, very kind gentlemen. And they basically preached it at me that they know that they don't have the skill of an Alveston or a Stratford or an Orangeville. But what they have is they have heart, they have community, and they run a system. And that's the thing that a lot of senior hockey teams lack. I've got to be a part of it myself and witness it. And this isn't just unique to the Stratford Irish in any way. I believe Stratford actually does run a good system offensively, defensively. But a lot of senior hockey teams are a bunch of personalities that think they're bigger than the game. You know, guys that have been places, guys that have played pro overseas. And no matter if you try to give them a system or not, they're not going to play it. And Six Nations, they're not like that. They're a bunch of local boys. They all are, majority of the guys are from the reserve out in Six Nations. They want to come here. They want to play hard. They want to set a tone. So Stratford's got to watch out because they could catch some sleeping today, and you might wake up tomorrow 5-3-1.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And, you know, it's tough to play a really developed system at this level. You simply don't practice often enough.
Not at all.
If they get 1 practice a week, and you're a busy senior hockey team. So,
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, good on the team for buying into the system, to the players. And, you know, I think it's going to be a real test of the Irish and their kind of freewheel, engaged defenseman style versus structured kind of layback and work on the transition game style of the Ironmen.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, Brian, because on the back end, that's where we're missing a lot of guys tonight, and that's where a couple of these new guys slot in to the lineup. Specifically, pretty much the only regular 2 defensemen in the lineup tonight are going to be Matt Henderson and Thomas Hernandez, as Connor Hall's away. Unfortunately, Cole Thiessen's also away. Matt Barnes is away. A lot of guys planning vacations, you know, getting away before the holidays. And I understand a lot of guys in this league are obviously working 9 to 5s. They deserve that time away, and good for them. But you're going to have a different looking defense tonight. That's not going to necessarily change the system, but I'd expect for these new guys to step in and be a little bit more cautious than the usual Stratford Irish defense that we see, which are run and gun, jump in, pinch at any cost. It works. I mean, 30% power play, obviously. Cole Thiessen, 4-point game last game. But I'm definitely excited to see if the new guys are willing to come in here and just kind of calm down and play their game.
Well, good luck with that, because it's really not, it's really not been our style here in Stratford to play a cautious game. It's you know, throw caution to the wind, join the rush, envelope, overlapping rushes. It's fun to watch, but it also can be very frustrating, and it's a reason that Coach Barry Grasby doesn't have any hair.
Yeah, exactly. Graz knows exactly what we're talking about. And it's been a great pregame show here on YouTube, folks. We're going to switch over the feed to Sporfie. We have joined partnership with Sporfie this year for the remainder of the regular season and the postseason. Go check out the link. It'll be posted on our Instagram story as well as our Facebook. And we also are offering the Seasons Pass package. So that package gives you a discounted price. I believe it works out to just under $5 a game for the remainder of the season, and that season pass includes playoff games as well, so we won't be charging extra money for the postseason games. That's all going to be included in the season pass package, and like I said, it's $5 a game. So if you're a Stratford fan and if you're a Six Nations fan, you might still want to check out some Irish games. So head over to Sporfie, type in NPHL-Stratford Irish, and you will see the feed there. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining us. This has been